What's up, guys? Out here on the water, and something I've seen a lot of discussion about, and people get in debates over this, is who makes the best bladed jig. And there's several on the market now. You have the Strike King Thunder Cricket, you have chatterbait. ZMan is making a pile of different ones, but the big name in that seems to be the Jackhammer. It's the highest price point. They just came out with the Jackhammer Stealth Blade. And you've also got a lot of different companies now that's jumped on that bladed jig bandwagon and are making a lot of different types and styles, and they all do a different thing. So the answer to my question on who makes the best bladed jig, I don't think that has an answer. I think they each serve their purpose. So what I want to do is not settle the debate on who makes the best one, but try to give some tips and some information as far as when and where to use them, and more so a comparison of all the bladed jigs that are on the market. So if you look in my box here, which I've got the Plano Edge jig and bladed jig storage box, which I highly recommend. It's a little pricier than just a regular Plano box, but it's watertight, it seals them, it organizes them really well so that they don't get mixed up and tangled up. I have them organized by lane, by size. All my swim jigs and bladed jigs are in this box. So I'll drop a link below for the Plano Edge series boxes. But if I open it up, and I've got, like I said, all my swim jigs and all my bladed jigs are in this box. But now we're talking about bladed jigs. I've got 3 different bladed jigs I really want to compare. There's a plethora of different companies making them now. There's 2 big names. The big ones I want to look at are the Thunder Cricket by Strike King, and of course the Jackhammer by ZMan. I'm going to show you a cool new one that's on the market that does something just a little bit different that I seem to like. To start, Strike King Thunder Cricket. What's special about it? The Strike King Thunder Cricket. What I like about it is when compared to the ZMan Jackhammer, it doesn't thump quite as hard. It's still, Strike King calls it a vibrating jig, and I think that describes it very well. It's less of a thump, 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 and more of just a subtle, keyword, subtle. It is a subtle action to it. It's still going to vibrate. It's still going to cause your trailer to go a little wild in the water. It's going to draw strikes out of cover, but I tend to like it more in clear water, and I do think that it works better around grass, especially over the tops of submerged grass. The biggest differences in these bladed jigs, whatever the manufacturer, is going to be the components. You're going to have different shaped and styled lips. You're going to have different style line ties and the way that it attaches to the head. But you'll see the cool thing about the Thunder Cricket is it actually, the line tie moves inside the head. It's basically a pivot point. And I will say, I have yet to lose a fish on the Thunder Cricket. Once you stick them, they're there. Now, I don't have a huge issue with any of my bladed jigs. Now, the first ones on the market years ago, that was a big problem. But now, that's why you're paying a little bit bigger price for these higher end bladed jigs, is the components that they use and the technology that goes into how the bait works and how the bait hooks fish and helps you land fish. Now, moving on, let's pull out this is actually the one I was just throwing a minute ago. This is going to be the ZMan Jackhammer. One of the big differences, you'll see that the line tie does not pivot inside the head. It is a rigid blade connection to the head, and the actual line tie is slightly different. And you'll see when you compare the Thunder Cricket and the Jackhammer, the blade shape is just a little bit different. The Thunder Cricket has more of a rounded nose. They both have about the same angle, but then the Jackhammer is going to be more sharp edges, more of a coffin shape. And the Jackhammer shines when you need a little bit more thump, especially the harder the wind might be blowing in stained to muddy water. And I like it better, and I can't, no science to this, I can't explain it. I like it better around wood and rocks. Now, there's a new one on the market. This is out by Tekkel, and it's called the Blade Waker. And this is one that I was playing with. I just got these yesterday from sportsmansoutfitters.com. We just stocked them last week. And you'll see a tremendous difference on how, first of all, how the blade attaches to the jig head. It does have the perfect weed guard here. But look at this lip. That's some weird juju there. But what this bait does, comparison here, the jackhammer is more of like exactly that, a jackhammer. It's going to go pump, 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 pump. It's going to be a really hard thump. And just, it makes the trailer and the skirt go wild. The Thunder Cricket's more of a subtle thump. It's more of a do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, me. So a more subtle thump. What I noticed with the Blade Waker is it has a really wide wobble to it. It's going to be the widest wobble out of all of them. And I'll tell you, I was throwing it beside and behind the Thunder Cricket, just comparing the two. And especially over submerged grass, this thing has a killer action. It's going to be around the same price point as the Thunder Cricket and the Jackhammer, but it's going to give you a little bit different option or offer. And if they're not hitting one or the other, it just gives you another option to go with. It's going to give them something a little bit different. And if you jump on the bandwagon now, you might can put it in some places where everyone else is throwing a jackhammer or a Thunder Cricket and give the fish a little bit different look that they haven't seen from other anglers that are passing through. So that really, I think that's a fair comparison of the bladed jigs, the higher end bladed jigs that are on the market, why I recommend them, what conditions I recommend them with. So if you will, hit the subscribe button to check out some more videos. We got some killer bass catching footage coming up later this week on a little lake that I went to just 20 minutes up the road from my house. And you can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, but be sure to check out the links below and go check out some of these bladed jigs and try them for yourself at www.sportsmansoutfitters.com.